Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over this rifle that you guys see right here in front of you and that you saw throughout the intro. This is the F4 Defense EBR Lite rifle, and this one happens to be chambered in 224 Valkyrie. There's going to be a lot of talk about that probably in this video, but they do make this as well in 6.5 Grendel, the exact same rifle. There is a ton going on in terms of details and stuff on the receiver sets and within this rifle. So we're going to kind of basically just start here at the back, work our way forward, and try to go over all the details and everything that goes into this rifle, because there is a good bit. The rifle comes with a Mission First tactical stock. This is the minimalist. I believe only the first run of the rifles came with this. They now come with a full-size Mission First tactical stock. So the receiver 7075 rather, T6 aluminum. The receiver is going to match your rifle in terms of color, if that makes sense. And I guess I should get into that. F4 does offer Cerakoting. If you purchase it straight on their website, I think it's like adds a week or something like that lead time to the order, but they'll match it to your rifle. We have no QD end plate or anything like that on the back here of the receiver. However, the MFT stocks all do have quick detach points on them, regardless of the one that your rifle comes with. It will have a QD point on there. The grip is also a Mission First tactical product. These grips are good. I have no issues with them. I did a full review on Mission First tactical furniture. It's got a little spot here on the bottom if you want to store things like batteries or anything like that, or cleaning kits. It's got good ergonomics overall. It's definitely way better than an A2 in my opinion. So you're not going to go wrong there in that regard. Both the upper and lower receiver are made out of 7075 T6 billet aluminum. And again, it's going to have a Type 3 hard anodizing and then whatever color combination that you get it in over that. So it's very good stuff. There's a ton of really cool features going on here with these lowers. I do like it a good bit. The selector switch here on the back is the bad short throw ambi selector. It's nice. Like it's very crisp. There's no issues at all in terms of that. We drop this mag out of there. I should note that these rifles do take 6.8 mags. Obviously, as the 224 is based, its parent cartridge, I guess, is the 6.8. So they work just fine in there. It comes with a PRI mag. I've used PRI and CPD mags throughout the review, and reliability, we've had zero issues at all with it. So they work well in that regard. Our charging handle is going to be the F4 charging handle. It's ambidextrous, and it has, the latches on either side that will actuate it. It's nice. It's a 7075 T6 construction, and it's got a little bit of a gas busting raised ledge here, and that's important because I think a lot of guys are going to run this rifle suppressed, and it's going to prevent the gas from coming back in your face much more so than a standard mil-spec charging handle would. The trigger on the rifle is a single stage drop-in ELF trigger, so it's got that sort of knurling out there on the front, so that way when your finger starts to take up the slack, it really sticks to it. Single stage triggers, a lot of guys like them, especially competitor, because they can be run very, very fast, generally speaking faster than 2 stages, but that's kind of a preference thing and probably a video for another day, not today. But the receiver set here is fully ambidextrous. So right now we have the bolt locked back, of course using the typical bolt lock that we have here on the left side. And then to send it home, you can either use the one here on the right side, or of course traditionally here on the spot on the left side of the receiver. Same is true here for our magazine release. So if I actually actuate that here on the left side, you can see it is dropping the magazine, and you can see here, we'll demo that real quick for you. Put that in, and on this side, that's what I'm going to hit. Drops the mag out. I would say it's effective in that regard. Our mag well here has a generous bevel to it. It's nice and wide, makes for easy mag changes. I do like that feature. I've said that in pretty much every single AR-15 review I've ever done. I think all ARs should have that, whether they're forged or billet. Our dust cover here is the Strike Industries dust cover, and the bolt carrier group, let's get into that here real quick. It's going to be, they give you the option if you order direct on their site as to which one you want, but the one that comes standard with this rifle is going to be the 9130. We'll try that again with the neighbor's dog not barking at us. The bolt carrier group is going to be a 9310 bolt. It's going to be MP tested. I didn't see anywhere that it was HP tested, but I know a lot of people prefer it not to be HP tested. So real quick on that note, the high pressure testing, tests if it's going to have any sort of material defects or anything like that. But a lot of people think that that reduces the bolt life. So that debate, I suppose, can continue to go on down below in the comment section. You can feel free to do so as you see fit, but it is a full auto profile. It's got the nitride finish all the way around, which a lot of people really like, myself included. It's easy to clean. It's got good lubricity. It's got good corrosion resistance, good surface hardness. Really, you can't go wrong with a nitrided bolt carrier group as long as it's produced correctly, of course. The bolt itself is going to be compatible with 6.8 rifles as well, which again has to do with the 224 chambering. So speaking of 224 chambering, let's check out the accuracy of this rifle here. Let's shoot some groups here at 100 yards, and then we're going to move forward into this barrel. Real quick, before we test the accuracy, I wanted to thank the sponsor of today's video. It's going to be Sportsman's Guide. They've come on board to help support the channel and what we do here, and they're also helping support you guys as well. With code Guns and Gear, it's going to get you $20 off orders of $100 or more, and I'll put a link down below in the video description where I can as well. But big thanks to Sportsman's Guide. Now let's get out to the range. One thing everybody wants to know about with 224 is long range capabilities, which we're not going to show right now. The other one's going to be accuracy, which we're going to try to show right now. So you guys can probably hear it. We got a pretty good wind going on. It's probably quarter value, 10 mile an hour. Target's down range at 100 yards. The 224 does pretty well in wind though, so I'm not too worried about it. On the rifle right now, we have Vortex 2-10 PST scope and a Geissele Super Precision mount. The ammo in the gun right now is the Federal American Eagle. This is their 75 grain total metal jacket, which I've actually had decent results with in the past. And before I shoot everything, I would say that in general, this is the best factory 224 ammo for the money, like for training, for the budget. It shoots well and it's relatively inexpensive. So anyway, target downrange, I think I already said that. Everything else is factory besides the optic, and we'll see how it shoots. So got a few other loads for you though. We'll test them out. Ooh, well that looked bad. Definitely went against what I just said, but one thing I want to point out also, and it's truly a preference thing, the gun comes with a very good trigger. It's an excellent trigger. It's a single action trigger, and honestly, I'm not that used to them. I'm just used to two-stage triggers, so that first shot literally did surprise me, and that's not good for precision. So we'll see how this one does. This is the Hornady ELD 88 grain. That's the one that a lot of people think is one of the better loads in 224, so we'll see how this barrel likes it. Sorry about that, I had a horsefly gnawing on me. Looks a little bit better there. All right, next up, bugs are no joke out here today. Next up is going to be the 60 grain. This is a Nosler ballistic tip, so it's kind of like a varmint round 60 grainer. And then after that, we'll have some 90 grain soft point fusions in the same mag. All right, next up will be the Federal Fusion. It's already in the gun right now. The 90 grain soft point, sort of hunting oriented ammo. But a lot of people like it as well for long distance just due to the weight and the BC. So we'll see how it shoots out of this one. like it opened up a little bit. I'm gonna actually shoot another load of those Hornadies, another group rather, just because I had that bug attack me and it came off my point of aim, and I'm wondering if that's why the group wasn't what I expected. But we're gonna verify here. The barrel doesn't feel hot at all. It's about 75 out here today, so it's not cool, but it's not hot either. So let me run another group of these through there and see how it does. Maybe it didn't matter. Let's go check them out. Again, first up, we had the 75 grainers from American Eagle. Definitely, I jinxed myself there. We're right at 2 inches, regardless of how you measure it. And it came over here with the Hornady ELDs. That might be the best group. We're right at just under an inch, maybe 7/8 of an inch there, center to center. Then I believe we came down here with the 60 grainers. And that one looks pretty good too. We're right at an inch center to center with the 60 grain, 90 grain down here. Go with an 1.25 inches on that one, center to center, than the last Hornady ELD group. Actually, looks like it got a little bit bigger. It did. We are right at about, stream thread there, about 1 3/8 inches. So I know a lot of hand loaders out there are working stuff up, but this should give you something to go off of anyway for this barrel. But yeah, we definitely had 2 MOA or better groups. So hey, I'll take it. Now that we've seen the groups here at 100 yards, let's talk about the 224 cartridge, because it's definitely not designed to punch paper at 100 yards. It's designed to reach out and really be able to shoot and engage targets at much farther distances than most small frame ARs can do. When I say small frame ARs, I mean an AR-15, not like an AR-10. That would be a larger frame, which most things that are going to be able to reach out to the distances that 224 can do are going to require a larger frame AR-15. Now, when the 224 first came out, there was a ton of glowing accuracy reports out there, people saying that it was just shooting awesome. And at the time, Federal was the only company making the actual, making loads for it, I should say. And then basically, if you follow the history of this, about 2 or 3 months later, a bunch of companies put out barrels and rifles chambered in 224. And you started to see varying reports on accuracy and downrange capabilities. Then, I guess probably June, July-ish type of 2018. I'm recording this in October, for those of you watching this video way in the future. A lot of barrel companies and manufacturers kind of got to thinking, man, we need to look into this and see what's wrong with it, if there is anything wrong with it, and what we can do to fix it. Some of them kind of laid the blame on ammo. Some of them laid the blame on twist rate. F4 was one of the companies that's posted a lot about the development of this particular barrel and this particular rifle. If you guys Google F4 and 224 Valkyrie, articles will come up about it, and you guys can read all about it until your brain hurts like I did. But basically, some companies were changing the twist rate from 1 in 7, which is what most of the original barrels were. F4 did some, again, testing on that at various distances with various loads, hand loads, etc., and found that the 1 in 7 definitely gave them the best accuracy from what they saw. Now, this barrel profile that we have here is a relatively heavy profile. It's 20 inches long, and the gas system is a rifle +2, meaning that it's a rifle length gas system +2 inches. So a lot of guys went with that for the 224. For those of you guys that don't know, a lot of folks also use the rifle +2 if they're using really long AR-15 barrels, like 24 inches and stuff like that. Guys who are shooting varmints and those sorts of things. So it's not a new gas system. It's just more commonly used on really long AR-15s. But since F4 went with this, other companies are doing it as well. I believe Rainier Arms is offering a +2 224 barrel, and Criterion, and so on and so forth. So I really think that was one of the things that kind of helped with barrel harmonics and those sorts of things. Now, the groups that you guys saw out there, honestly, they're not super awesome, but if you guys read reports, again, of this particular barrel and this rifle online, you will see guys that are hand loading, shooting, half MOA groups on average, which is really, really good. So that is especially important when we're translating that downrange. If you're shooting out to 1,000 yards or something like that, all of those things just magnify themselves. And become more and more important, of course. Now, the gas block up here is going to be the Superlative Arms bleed off gas block. It's awesome. If you guys watch my AR-15 gas block guide video, essentially I say get something like this because it's very good. It has positive clicks. When you switch the gas adjustments, it bleeds some off. It makes it for sort of a smoother recoil impulse, and really they're just reliable. Even when they get caked in carbon from high round counts, they're not going to lock up on you like a lot of the lower grade gas blocks would. Again, due to the profile of the barrel here, it's one of the larger ones in terms of diameter, but they make these in all different diameters. They're very, very good gas blocks. Highly recommend them. The barrel itself, I should have pointed out, is made out of F4-16 stainless steel, and it is hand lapped, and it's made from a Criterion blank. So a lot goes into it, a lot goes into the profile and the testing, the twist rate like we talked about. So I think we beat that horse to death. Out here on the end, we have the Sequence Precision muzzle brake, which is a serious brake. It's no joke. It absolutely cuts down on any felt recoil. Now, combine the weight of this rifle, which without the optic here is going to be right at 7.9 pounds on my scale. So we have that weight, then we have the rifle plus 2 gas system, then it's tunable, then we have this brake. This thing has almost no recoil at all. It's a phenomenal shooter. It's very, very smooth cycling. In that regard, it's absolutely a pleasure to shoot. However, if you're gonna be shooting with it, make sure you get some ear pro on because that brake is loud for sure. The handguard here on the rifle is the F4 Defense AR-15 handguard, so it's their lightweight version of it. It's got a good lockup system here in the back. A lot of companies use a very similar system. It's not going to move on you. It's not going to rotate at all. It's solid in that regard. And then we move forward here. We're going to have our QD sling attachment points, both at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock positions. And one thing I always look at whenever I see a heavier profile type of barrel is whether or not you can actually use the QD swivels, because sometimes the barrel is so thick behind it that you can't fully insert your QD sling attachment points. That's not the case with this handguard. They do work. I tested it. We're good there. Then moving forward, we have the M-lock all the way around at the 3, 6, and 9 o'clock position, as well as the offset position. So it's really however you want to mount anything M-lock on there, you can do so. I mean, you don't need offset mounts or anything like that if you choose to run it in that regard. And then we have our M-lock sections that are actually built into the QD, or rather built into the 1913 sections here up front, which is a really cool touch. So if you want to use, M-lock up there, you can. If you want to use a 1913 type mount, you can. Either way, you're good to go. And on the top rail here, again, we have 1913 the entire way. However, it's hollowed out to make it lightweight. So any of your 1913 attachments will lock on there nice and solid. However, they remove the weight in the middle to just lighten everything up as much as possible, to keep the overall weight of the rifle as light as possible. So very well thought out handguard. And if you want to mount lights, lasers, anything like that up front, 1913 is still the strongest system in my opinion. M-lock's great, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. I would absolutely trust it, but 1913 is stronger. So it gives you that option up front if you guys want to mount bipods, lasers, lights, all of that stuff, any night vision equipment and those sorts of things, because I'm sure some folks looking at this rifle will look at it as a hunting rig, and it would definitely do well in that role in my opinion. Especially suppressed. I mean, it would be nasty. It would be a hog buster. I think we covered most of the important points on the rifle. One thing we talked about, of course, already was reliability. We had 0 issues with it, and I think that has a lot to do with magazine selection. Everything I've read with 224, pretty much every time guys have reliability issues, that's kind of what it is. So again, the PRI or the CPD mags, that's what I would recommend going with. One thing I can't translate to you through the camera here is how smooth this action feels on this rifle. Everything's definitely tuned and fit correctly. The lower receiver and the upper receiver here are some of the nicest ones I've ever used on any AR-15. They're very well thought out, very well executed, and honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about them. They still keep them forward assist, which I do like. I love tapping the forward assist. It makes me feel good on the inside. And I know that bothers some of you, but it is what it is. One thing we didn't touch on, of course, is going to be cost. This rifle here, depending on where you get it, it's going to be right around the $2,500 mark, so it is not inexpensive. I will absolutely say that, but it's a very good rifle, in my opinion. The barrel, like we said, really well thought out, receivers and all that stuff. It's super smooth. It just feels refined, if that makes sense. Some of that has to do with it being billet for sure, but it's not cheap. It's not for everybody, but I think a lot of folks will be attracted to it, and hopefully this video gave them some information that they can use going forward here as they decide to purchase or not to purchase the rifle. But if you guys have any questions about the rifle that I didn't post, or that I didn't talk about so far in the video, by all means post those down below in the comments section. You can also post them over at my Facebook page if you guys aren't following me over there and you're looking for deals on stuff, particularly AR rifles, optics, anything like that. Definitely check my Facebook page out, but it's also the best place to get in touch with me if you guys have questions that you need answered, because I tend to see the questions over there more than I do on YouTube or other areas where I post videos. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see all of you in the next video.